Imagine someone sitting across from you. They shuffle the deck of cards and ask you to pick one in your mind. Just think of it, no words. Then they look straight into your eyes and say, "It's the Queen of Hearts." You laugh, it's impossible. But somehow, they're right. In that moment, logic bends. You feel like they reached into your thoughts, like they truly saw something hidden deep inside your mind. Human history is full of these moments, eerie, strange, and utterly mesmerizing. We call them psychic powers. From mind reading and telepathy to predicting the future and moving objects without touch, psychic phenomena have fascinated and frightened us for centuries. But are these abilities real, or are they simply clever illusions crafted by our own brains and by those who know how to play with perception? Across the centuries, people have sworn they've seen the impossible. Seances where tables floated, spoons that bent on command, people who could sense death before it happened, or mediums who claimed to speak with the dead. Some experiences felt so real that even skeptics were left speechless. But science always asks one question: what's actually happening behind the curtain? The human brain is both powerful and gullible. We are creatures built on pattern recognition. We see faces in clouds, meaning in coincidences, and intention in randomness. This deep wiring once helped us survive in ancient times, but today, it also makes us believe in things that might not be there. Psychic powers often exploit that instinct, the brain's natural hunger for meaning and mystery. Let's rewind. In the late 19th century, a time when electricity was still a wonder and science and mysticism danced side by side, a woman named Eusapia Palladino became a sensation. She claimed she could move objects in dark rooms, communicate with spirits, and even levitate tables. Journalists, scientists, and philosophers traveled from across Europe to witness her seances. In candlelit rooms, hands joined together. The audience would gasp as furniture trembled and shadows seemed to come alive. Even respected scientists like Camille Flammarion and Cesare Lombroso left her sessions convinced she was gifted with powers beyond explanation. But behind those trembling tables was something simpler: a magician's trick, hidden wires, and the power of suggestion. When investigators observed her under controlled conditions, bright light, cameras, and restricted movement, the miracles vanished. That moment defined the battle that still continues today, the mystery of psychic powers versus the clarity of scientific observation. It wasn't just her. Decades later, in the early 20th century, psychic fever reached new heights. In America, J.B. Rhine at Duke University began testing extrasensory perception, ESP, using cards marked with symbols: a star, a circle, a square, waves, and a cross. Participants were asked to guess which symbol would appear next. Some, like a woman named Hubert Pierce, scored much higher than chance. For a moment, it seemed like science had finally found proof that the human mind could reach beyond its senses. But replication, the golden rule of science, failed. When others repeated the experiments with tighter controls, the results fell back to chance. What Rhine had discovered wasn't evidence of psychic power. It was evidence of how easily expectation, subtle cues, and coincidence can create illusions of the impossible. Still, people wanted to believe. There's a reason for that. Psychic powers touch something deeply human: our desire for control in a chaotic world. When we can't explain something, we reach for meaning. It's comforting to think someone can see the future when we can't, or talk to someone we've lost when grief feels unbearable. It gives the illusion that the unknown isn't so terrifying. And that's where psychology comes in. The human mind is an incredible pattern machine, constantly filtering noise to find connections. This phenomenon called apophenia makes us see links where none exist. Combine that with confirmation bias, our tendency to remember hits and forget misses, and you have the perfect recipe for psychic belief. When a psychic gets one thing right, it feels miraculous. When they're wrong, we shrug it off. But belief can go even deeper than psychology. It becomes part of identity. In 1977, magician James Randi decided to test how strong that belief could be. Randi wasn't just a skeptic, he was a performer who understood how illusion worked. He offered a $1 million prize to anyone who could demonstrate psychic abilities under scientifically controlled conditions. For over 4 decades, no one ever claimed the prize. Not one. Still, the stories kept coming. In 1973, millions watched Uri Geller on television bend spoons with his mind. His calm confidence, his quiet tone, his mysterious smile, he felt authentic. The spoons twisted, keys bent, and people gasped. The idea of psychic energy suddenly felt real. But magicians watching at home recognized something else: sleight of hand. The real power was not in his mind, but in his timing and audience manipulation. This isn't to say everyone claiming psychic power is a fraud. Some truly believe in what they feel. There are moments, powerful emotional moments, where intuition feels supernatural. You think of a friend moments before they call. You sense something's wrong with someone you love before hearing the news. These are real human experiences, but are they evidence of psychic connection or proof of how our minds are constantly processing subtle, invisible information? Science offers some fascinating clues. Research into microexpressions, tiny facial movements we barely notice, shows how we unconsciously read emotions faster than we realize. Our brains pick up on breathing patterns, tone changes, and even pupil dilation, creating the illusion of mind reading. It feels psychic, but it's actually intuition sharpened by evolution. Then there's coincidence. In a world of 8 billion people, extraordinary coincidences are bound to happen all the time. If you dream of an accident and one happens somewhere in the world, it's not a psychic prediction, it's statistical inevitability. The brain connects dots even when there's no line between them. But let's pause on something interesting. There have been serious scientific attempts to test psychic phenomena in labs. During the Cold War, both the US and the Soviet Union funded secret projects exploring telepathy and remote viewing, hoping psychic spies could gather intelligence from miles away. The most famous was Project Stargate, run by the CIA. For years, participants claimed to be able to describe hidden objects or secret military sites. Some reports even seemed uncannily accurate. But when the program was declassified, the conclusion was clear: no consistent evidence. What the tests did prove was how powerfully human imagination fills gaps when we want to believe. Still, not all mysteries are solved. Quantum physics, for instance, shows us a world where particles influence one another across distance. Quantum entanglement. Some claim that's proof of a hidden psychic connection between minds, but physicists disagree. The phenomenon happens at a subatomic level, not in human consciousness. The leap from particles to people isn't supported by any evidence. Yet the dream remains. Because psychic powers, real or not, make us feel special, connected to something greater. Let's travel to India for a moment. In ancient traditions, there are stories of rishis, sages who attained deep mental focus, able to perceive thoughts, heal, or see distant events. In Buddhist teachings, similar abilities, called siddhis, were said to arise through intense meditation. These weren't parlor tricks. They were seen as byproducts of profound inner awareness. Modern neuroscience, interestingly, shows that deep meditation can alter brain activity in extraordinary ways, slowing the heartbeat, reducing pain, and even changing perception of time. But none of it points to supernatural abilities. Instead, it shows how much control the mind truly has over the body. And that's the subtle truth behind most psychic phenomena. They are mirrors showing us the untapped potential of the human mind. Not powers from beyond, but reflections of what's already inside us. In today's world, psychic claims have moved from dimly lit parlors to social media feeds and live streams. Tarot readers, energy healers, and aura interpreters reach millions of followers online. It's a modern evolution of an ancient fascination, the same need for certainty, but now packaged in algorithms and filters. The digital age hasn't killed belief, it's amplified it. Yet skepticism remains alive too. Magicians, scientists, and psychologists continue to study why people believe in psychic powers, not to ridicule them, but to understand what belief says about human nature. Because at the heart of it, this isn't a story about deception. It's a story about hope, fear, and the endless search for connection. Think about this. When you hold someone's hand and sense their emotion without a word, that's not psychic. That's empathy.